Welcome back to Conversations with Tanesha. Today, joining the conversation is my friend Trudy Chandler. Welcome, Trudy.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have her here. So, this girl right here, me and her just made like an instant connection. So I told her she's on my friend list for 2013. I love this girl. So today we're going to be talking about something that's very personal for you. I haven't experienced it, but I'm experiencing it through my friends because this is something that's completely new to me. So today we're going to talk about infertility. And we're going to talk about, the challenges that comes with, trying to conceive and things like that. Now for me, I didn't have any of those issues. I always tell you I had my kids when I was kind of like dumb, unaware. So I wasn't really sure what was going on. All I know is that I did something to cause me to be pregnant, and pregnant I was. So I never had any issues, with getting pregnant or, losing a child or, just any of those issues.
Right.
So tell us, because you've had some issues.
Yes. Okay. I've had the situation where my oldest daughter, who's 12,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have any problems at all.
Right.
It was quite a surprise actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she was about 6, we tried again and nothing was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And up to when she was like 11, we were like still trying. And then,
But let's just talk about this, because when you say you were trying, what exactly were you doing, Trudy?
I mean, we were having sex. And yeah. And we, it got to the point where I started reading, like, well, maybe I'm not getting in the right time of the month or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So, started doing some reading, okay, and okay, well, we'll have to do it around this time. Just, start
Mm-hmm.
looking at the days when you ovulate and all that kind of stuff. And still nothing happened.
So for me, that would stress me out.
It is very stressful.
Because I have to start planning when I'm going to do it.
It is very stressful.
Right, but...
Yeah, and that's something that couples that are in infertile couples, that's like a big thing, is that you do get to that point of frustration. And then not only that, but then you have people around you that... if you don't have any children, or if you have only one child, they're like, well, when are you going to have a second child? Well, when are you going to get babies? And it's like, it's not that easy, people.
Right.
It really, when I started doing more reading, and then we eventually started going to a specialist, that's when I realized how much of a miracle it is to get pregnant.
Right.
Because you only have basically 12 chances out of a whole year to get pregnant, and then within that it's like a certain percentage. And as you get older, especially women past the age of like 30, your chances drop significantly. So it's just like you feel like it's an uphill battle, and then you have to just dealing with your own insecurities sometimes and outside influences as well.
So then how does your faith play a part? Did you get to a point where you're like, because I don't know, I always throw out adoption. Again, never having the experiences that you've had or other friends have had. But I always throw out adoption because I'm thinking, why not just adopt? There's so many kids out here. We say it all the time in our groups. There's so many kids out here. Ooh, kids are being mistreated.
Right.
What a great parent I am, and how much I love kids. Why not just say, you know what? It's not going to happen this way, so I'm just going to adopt.
I think with my husband, like just before we had gotten pregnant with our second child, we were thinking of going that way because it was taking so long.
Right.
And we're like, well, it's something we've always wanted to do as a couple, even if we had our own children. We wanted to adopt, a child or children afterwards. So, and then when we got pregnant with our second child, which was a little boy, I think it's just with people just still want to have something that's their own, a child that looks like you. Oh, you look like your daddy. Oh, you look like your aunt, or that kind of thing. We did get pregnant. Unfortunately, our son did not survive. So we went through that process of grieving our little boy, and then we found out that through losing him, that there were some other issues that why we were able to get pregnant as quickly as we.
So
wanted.
were you always this woman that said, I wanted to have multiple children?
My husband and I, yeah, we wanted to have at least. We said no more than 3. We wanted to have at least 2.
Because see, I got pregnant at 18. So getting pregnant at 18 and being married and, having the supportive spouse and sitting down and saying, you know what, we're going to plan our family out. None of that happened for me. So I'm a teenager, I'm 18, I get pregnant, I have this child, I did my best to be a good parent to her, and then I get married. So, but before I got married, I had the other one. Just be clear about that. Right. So I had the other one. But then the whole time I was carrying him, that's when I thought to myself, you know what? I don't want a whole bunch of kids. And it was crazy. Like when I was like, I don't want a whole bunch of kids. And so literally after I had him, like I make this joke all the time. I wore roller skates because my husband wouldn't get nothing until things got taken care of. Because I was like, I'm not having any more babies. And I just was like, I'm just not doing it. Now my daughter's 21, my son is 17. When I look around my house, all I see is these 2 little people, and I'm thinking, maybe I should have had like 1 or 2 more. But I just knew like
that was it. Yeah.
And I love kids. I mean, I do. I love kids, but I was just like, And I think because I was on the opposite end, and I really didn't take the time to like plan it out on what I want, how many I want. I was like, cool. So when I'm around people like you and other friends, and you're blessed to have 2 children, but then there are other women who have absolutely no children.
Right.
It just seems funny to me, like you think this is, like you said, it's not that easy to get pregnant, and you think it's so easy.
Yeah,
you think it's so easy, you can just do it, and you're just gonna get pregnant, but it doesn't happen like that for everybody.
No, and I mean, even after we had lost our son, I know for me I went through a whole question asking God, like, is this, I'm not supposed to have any more children? What does this mean? And he answered me, and I envisioned our 3rd child.
Right.
And that's when I knew, okay, this isn't it. I am gonna have another child.
Right.
And we went through fertility treatment, and we were blessed to have another little girl.
Now, how did family support you in that? Because, a lot of times in the Black community, this is still new to us, going to fertility doctors. This is still new to us, going to sit down with a counselor, let alone talking about get something mixed up and stirred up.
What?
Trying to have a baby. You know what I'm saying? Because, the old women will tell you need to rest, baby.
Right.
You need to rest.
Maybe that just means you don't need to have
You need to rest.
Right.
You need to take a hot bath instead of a cold shower. You know what I'm saying? So they come with their own kind of room. So did you all like tell people, or was this just something you and him said privately? This is what we're gonna do, and we're not.
We kept it really close and close knit. My brother and his wife knew, and my best friend, they knew, but we really kept it close because even though you go through infertility, it does not mean that you're going to get pregnant.
Right.
You could still end up.
So I've
had plenty of friends that have gone through it for years and still don't have children. So, it's not a guarantee. And actually when I went through it.
But it was a guarantee for you because you'd already heard from the Lord.
I felt as though it was a guarantee for me because I had already heard from the Lord. And I had envisioned her, holding her and everything. So, I think that, and you're right. There are some family members, I know they're not going to really take it. Right. They'd be like, well, you went through that, you did that, and I didn't want to
they look
have
at
the negativity.
Because they look at it like you're playing God.
Right, and I don't see it that way.
They look at it like if God wanted you to have it, then you would have had it. So now you're going out here mixing up stuff.
Right, but I think that to me, science is another way that God can help.
Right.
Sometimes people look for the big, grandiose miracle and realize that there are everyday things that are miracles as well.
Right.
God has opened up man's mind to understand the universe and how he operates.
Right.
So I feel as though it's still God's hand in it. I mean, yeah, you can implant 2 embryos, but doesn't mean that it's going to turn into a child. So I still feel as though she's still God made, and definitely.
Right.
She
God made, not when you say she God made, not man-made.
Right.
So Trudy, I'm so happy that you joined us here today. That's interesting. Like I said, I've never experienced that, but that's becoming a growing issue among women and among Black women, because we were always the most fertile. But not so much anymore. Again, thanks for joining Conversations with Tanesha. We look to have you visit with us again. Be blessed. Bye.